I thought Buffalo was going to win this weekend. They weren't as reliant at the end of this season on Josh Allen. They developed a run game. They drafted and developed new weapons. Dalton Kincaid, James Cook, Khalil Shakir. They could blow you out. They could win close. They felt more efficient. They fired their OC. They were on track. It really felt like something. And they did so much well against Kansas City. 3 75-yard touchdown drives. They had more first downs and more total plays and dominated time of possession, and they were great in the red zone. And they had, look at third down. They were 7 of 14, and they were at home. And yet yesterday they reverted back to Josh Allen, save us. They put up the bat signal. They needed him to 39 pass attempts, 12 rushing attempts. He had to overcome a weird fake punt call, couple of big drops by receivers, couldn't stop Kansas City's run game, much of that due to injuries. Kicker missed a game-tying field goal. This was the Buffalo I thought was in the rear-view mirror. I don't have a problem with a quarterback having to make some throws or occasionally go to his feet and have to move. But good God, it was the 6th time in 10 Bills playoff games that Josh Allen's had to be the leading rusher. The Bills' window is not officially closed. Josh Allen's still in his prime. It's still a well-run operation. But it does feel like it shut a little. Let's be honest. Kansas City now 3-0 in their head in the playoffs. You can see the way the Bills on that last drive where they're running James Cook into the line. They're just trying to eat up the clock. They're thinking about Mahomes when their offense is on the field. That's the way it works with Buffalo. Again, bat signal. Save us. I thought they'd moved out of that. Some new weapons. O-line had a good year. They were running the ball, not Josh dependent. And then yesterday they were. He just could not overcome their mistakes. And I could spend the next 10 minutes hammering the Bills. But let's talk about Kansas City, the winners, again, in this fateful January matchup for Buffalo. Patrick Mahomes did not have to carry the team. A very clean, efficient, and tidy 17 of 23. No picks in his last 5 playoff games. He's 5-0. The run game, dominant in the second half. They barely had the ball in the first half, yet only trailed on the road 17-13. Like Gronk, Travis Kelce, aging, nope. Big play Travis Kelce. How about MVS? Who knew? He made big plays. In fact, Kansas City, and it's just shocking because we watched them all year long, and we were frustrated all year long, and they were making mistakes all year long. But the Chiefs had 8 plays yesterday of 20 or more yards. The Bills had none. Isn't that remarkable considering what we watched from both teams this year? Kansas City averaged 7.7 yards a play. That's more than any offense has averaged all weekend long. Smart, well-coached, efficient, and this is what champions, I guess, do. All year long, we watch them cobble together drives and find a way to win. And there was some ugly Sundays. Yet in the biggest moment, in the biggest game, Kansas City players played above themselves. All year long, Travis Kelce, limping, aging, distracted. No, not really at all. He was amazing and wide open. They call it the heart of a champion. What it felt like to me was the rising of a perceived dead champion. Everybody had the shovels, myself included. I just thought this was a vulnerable Kansas City team. But do you realize they only faced 5 third downs all game? They were so efficient, they didn't need third down. The Bills, for the record, were very good on third down. But Kansas City didn't panic. Only a couple of penalties. They're like the Patriots dynasty, except they have a quarterback who occasionally throws sidearm. Pass protection, again, excellent. Mahomes, efficient. Running game, dominant. Coaching, excellent. If Mecole Hardman doesn't fumble at the 1, this baby would have been put to bed earlier. By the way, Andy Reid, and we know he's a great coach, deserves a lot of credit. This offensive line, Greg Cosell came on earlier this year and said Mahomes doesn't trust the offensive tackles here. Do you realize Mahomes has yet to be sacked in 64 playoff dropbacks? I don't think it's a coincidence that many of those players for Kansas City who had struggled, we had doubted, rose in the biggest moment of the season. And that's got to be coaching, among other things, from Andy Reid. Well, sometimes we confuse a great story with a great team. Let's talk Detroit Lions. Like Joe Flacco in Cleveland. Everybody's like, oh, that was a great story. He wasn't having a great year. Houston Texans season. That's not a great team. It's a great story. C.J. Stroud, D'Amico Ryans. And these Lions, they're a great story too. But this roster, that pass rusher, that running back, that tight end, that safety, these weapons, Detroit can match San Francisco player for player. Not quite as old, but arguably just as good, as just as deep. The star of the Lions is not the quarterback, though he's been excellent, or the coach, and he's been surprisingly good. It's the front office. The Lions' rookies are Pro Bowl level. Their second, third-year players are some of the best players in the league. Sam Laporta could be the second-best tight end. Penei Sewell, Aiden Hutchinson, Jahmyr Gibbs. Like, he's as dynamic and twitchy as any running back in the league. The last 3 drafts, they've hit minimum 6 home runs. Not just good rookies, good second-year guys, like top of the league good. And Jared Goff, with time to throw, we saw this in Los Angeles. He's really, really good. He wins a lot. He's now in his second NFC Championship game. It's not all McVay, believe it or not. Don't confuse Detroit with a Cinderella story. You know, that small college basketball team at a private school in the South that gets to the Sweet 16. No, that's not what this is. Detroit has dudes at safety, linebacker, tight end, offensive tackle, running back, wide receiver. They got dudes everywhere. And they're doing championship things. They draft, they're patient, they develop, they found a quarterback, they protected him, they added weapons. They don't have great corners. You can beat them deep. But, I mean, Baltimore doesn't have great corners, and San Francisco doesn't. The truth is, all 4 teams going forward, you could say one of their weaknesses, corners, maybe outside of Kansas City, but that's a weakness in the National Football League. The NFC Championship is where Detroit has landed, and it's actually where they belong. One of the cool things about this team is you saw it coming. We picked them to win the division. You picked them to win the division. And so often, hope and optimism fade in January, right? The Cinderella stuff. That's not what this is. This is what championship teams do. Draft, develop, get guys. They haven't overspent in free agency. No dumb moves. It's smart. It's tough. It's relentless. Championship-level football. And I don't know what the odds makers think, but I think they're a younger version of San Francisco with a better quarterback. I think they got dudes absolutely everywhere.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd or go watch a few segments from other shows on FS1.